welcome students, faculty, staff, honored guests, and families to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2019. My name is Angela Kugler, and I'm the Senior Vice President of External and Student Affairs. It's my honor to be your MC today. Before we begin, I'd like to mention one small change to the program. In your program, it states that Jason Chu will be introducing our commencement speaker, but Mr. Chu has transferred that honor to Chris Comer as the recently appointed COO of the Redmond campus. The ceremony is about to begin. Please be aware that we are videotaping today's ceremony, and a link to the recording will be available online after the event. We also have professional photographers who are taking portraits of all graduates and will be sending students links to images for purchase, along with a gift from DigiPen for a free 5x7 photo. We will also have candid photos available on our social media within a couple of days, and you are welcome to take photos from your seats, but for the dignity of the ceremony, we ask that everyone stay in their seat during the ceremony. At this time, we ask that you please turn off cell phones and other electronics or handheld devices for the duration of the ceremony. Thank you. stand for the national anthem performed by the DigiPen Vocal Ensemble. Thank you to the DigiPen Vocal Ensemble. Please be seated. I'd like to thank you all for coming to celebrate this special day, and I'd like to welcome Mr. Claude Comer, our president and founder, to say a few words.
Hello. Wow, it's loud. Well, every year we have to say goodbye to some of you. It is not with pleasure that I come to this moment, to tell you the truth. I actually find it, for me, a moment of a bit of sadness, mixed, of course, with a lot of joy for you. The sadness comes from the fact that we're, letting go of you in the world. And I feel like the same when I actually, my sons left home, for example, when they became adults and they left home. Actually, the little girl that is screaming is still home. That's my daughter. And she's not going anywhere. Over my dead body, I would let her go. Anyway, so it's that sadness when you see your sons or your daughters leaving home, and you're worried about them, but at the same time you're confident. You're confident that the education you gave them, the trust that you have in them, that actually will carry on, and they will become successful beyond your wildest dreams. And you, as a parent, can never actually achieve what your kids or sons would achieve. Because Gibran said, and he's a Lebanese poet who actually was born about 10 miles away from my home, and that made me all my life think that I am more wise than anybody else because of him. So he said that the parents are actually the bows, and the kids are the fletches, the arrows, and the bow remains in the hands of the archer, whereas the arrow would travel and would go far. And this is what we feel today, is that we're actually letting you go. DigiPen is a living organism. Is like a person, is like a human. It breathes, it lives. It's actually more than a human, more than one person, because it has thousands of brains, thousands of eyes, thousands of arms, so it reaches very far. It's way more intelligent than one being alone. And it breathes. It inhales when you come in as freshmen, and it exhales when you leave. So it is actually a living being. So this dream of ours that started 31 years ago, 30 and a half years ago, you see, it started, and I am so glad that I was joined early enough by people that were visionaries and hardworking, and they stayed till today with us. The greatest majority of the directors that we have today have an average of living with us of over 25 years. So they believed in that dream, and they actually made it their own, and they actually helped us realizing it. And what is the dream of DigiPen? The dream of DigiPen is very simple. It's actually to prepare the student to face life. And how do you prepare your kids? You give them knowledge, a lot of knowledge. See, when I left my country a long time ago, about 40 years ago, I was as young as you. The only thing that I had no pennies, no money, no power, no capabilities, and I landed myself in Japan. The only thing that I had was my knowledge, and I carried it over my shoulders with me everywhere I went. And this fact helped me, launch myself in life. It is only my knowledge that allowed me to succeed in my life. I do not dance very well. I do not sing. As a matter of fact, I have a horrible, tune. I mean, I would fail at Lawrence's, Lawrence is our head of the music department, and I would fail grandiosely, right? So the only thing I knew was my engineering, and I used it. The tool, the only tool that I had, I used it. And it served me very well, and it saved my life. And today, I am probably one of the happiest persons in the world, due to the fact that my life was made easy because of my knowledge. And actually, no matter how you threw me, I landed on my feet, and I was able to succeed and continue. And you will do better than I am sure, because you are not starting from, where I started. You are starting far ahead of where I was. And I'm very confident that we have given you all the tools that you need in order to succeed in life and forward. You have been well taught. You have been sharpened. You have been tortured. I am sure you have spent a lot of bad times. There are lots of your friends that came here the day, the cohort came. You probably were almost double than that, but you are the few that actually made it. So I am very sure that you are going to succeed this way. I am positive in that. And the greatest majority of you have already jobs lined up. So I'm not worried about you. So what kind of advice should I give you? Well, I'm going to give you some words that actually, or some advice that actually I used. Honesty is the first on my list. Honesty. So be honest. Everybody makes a mistake. I think at DigiPen, I am the person who made the most mistakes in that company. No employee can actually beat me in that. The difference between people is the way we fix those mistakes. Every one of us will make a mistake. But what defines you is the way you fix it. So fix your mistakes honorably. Be honest. Admit the mistake and fix it. And go forward. Learn and go forward. Second, humility. Be humble. You know a lot, but you don't know it all. So when you go into a meeting, don't show off. I'm sure you are probably well prepared and more prepared than many people that have been working for years in business, because they lost the edge. It's like a knife that has been cutting in the kitchen for days and days on end, without an end. At the end of the day, the edge is no longer sharp. And you come in new knife on the market. You know, you're I don't know, like, what is the best knife? Ceramic knife, and you cut like crazy. But ceramic knives, they cut, but they break. So just be careful. Be humble. All right? Be thoughtful. Help other people to achieve. Don't be afraid to actually share your knowledge. Only weak people are afraid to share their knowledge. They say, it's my secret. There are no secrets in life. Share, and people will trust you, and you will just do better, and you will actually outdo everybody else because you have this perseverance that we taught you here, and we tested you with. So what did I say? I said honesty, I said humility, I said thoughtfulness, I said to help others, and I want you to be grateful. Grateful to all the people that actually came before you at DigiPen. All the alumni have helped making DigiPen better. And my hope is that when you leave, and years from now, you look back at DigiPen, you will see DigiPen even better than the time you were there. You see? So, you need to actually be assured of that. And today I will make a pledge for you and pledge in front of you. I would actually renew my pledge because about 30 years ago, I made a pledge to myself, and I made a pledge later on, a few years later, to the first graduating class, telling them that DigiPen will not go backward. It will always go forward. Every time you come and visit us, you will see it better. Years from now, you will look back at DigiPen and you will see a better school than today. You'll see that your tuition did not go to waste. We have learned together, and we will do better next year. And we will put more prepared people on the market, and those will be your friends and the juniors of the future, and you will be the seniors. The same way you are going to encounter friends that have graduated from the US or from our campus in Europe or from our campuses in Asia. All of these people are DigiPen people. They're like you. They're like you. They're exactly have been brought up with the same, the same, what do you call them? Ideology, the same principles as you, and they have the knowledge. So you can trust them to know. You can trust them to be really dependable. They will trust you. So basically, you're not alone. You are part of the DigiPen family. And nobody, none of you, I am sure, that nobody will actually forget this passage at DigiPen. DigiPen is not a normal environment. You don't come to school and you go and you forget it. It marks you. It becomes part of you. And this is why we are successful. We are successful because the graduates are successful. And we learn from them, we learn from you, you learn from us. We share knowledge. And this is what is so important, sharing your knowledge. Never be afraid to share. Never be shy to share. So today, as I told you, I renew this promise. I renew this pledge. I pledge to you that when you come back, you will see DigiPen better. Not only because of you, it's also personal. DigiPen was the school and of one of my sons who graduated from RTIS, two nephews that graduated also from RTIS. I had the pleasure to torture them. You can't believe how much. Right? They're all successful. Today, I have two nieces graduating with you. I promised my niece that I will not actually single out her and call her name and make her stand up and say hello to everybody just to embarrass her. I will not do it because I really promised. but I have two nieces here that are graduating today. So it's a personal matter. It's not something that is just, a job for me. You are my kids, and I consider you like my kids. It is true that before I didn't allow you to invite me for dinners or lunches because I wanted this relationship to be very formal and for me to be distant enough that to solve your problems if you ever had a problem. Well, I tell you, now that a few minutes from now you will be turning this tassel and graduating, throwing your hat up. I'm up for invitations. You can invite me for lunch and dinner. No, I will accept. We are colleagues, we are friends, we are family. As I told you, DigiPen is personal to me. It runs in my blood. And I would rather die than see it hurt or bad. And I promise you, no one, as long as I live, no one, so there is no need to kill me, but as long as I live, no one will graduate from DigiPen not earning it. That with a degree that they carry degree and they make us ashamed of ourselves because we gave it and they did not actually earn it. Because we were weak, we were dishonest. I will never accept that. So you can be sure that you will always find a DigiPen grad that you can trust, because that pledge is running, and it will run until the end of my days. And I'm sure those people who will take over, they will run with the same ideology. So you're going to go, you're going to be successful, and you should come back and share your experiences and help other generations to grow. This would be a legacy, not just a one person's legacy. They always tell me that I'm the founder. Baloney. I didn't know anything at the beginning of this journey 30 years ago. I just winged it. All I did is being honest, perseverant, and stubborn till the end of whatever I can. I don't want to continue this way, because talking about DigiPen, I can spend another 30 years telling you all the details and all of this. We will be always changing to become better. The mission will remain the same, but we will be better. That's a promise. Another thing that I promise you is the chicken sandwich that I make. That chicken sandwich will still be the same. We won't modify it. It will always be garlic, chicken, and a pickle. And no modifications would be allowed. Right? So people come to me, can I have it without? Yes, please, thank you. I don't eat pickles. On another day, that day you'll eat pickles. You'll eat it with the same garlic paste, which I would reveal the secret before I die. The dragon's breath will survive the ages and would actually be served the same every time you come. So you are always invited to come back. Always food is on us. I don't know if you would like that, but it's on us. So, I was saying that you go, and please come back to help us continue the mission. We need you. Other generations would need you. Certainly you don't want to die of old age, hopefully, and they write on your stone, this person knew a lot and died with it without sharing with anybody. That would be the biggest crime that you commit against the future. Well, this speech has to end, and I actually I overdid it. And I promised the organizers not to be more than 5 minutes, but I don't care. Thank you. So now that you are no longer students, or technically no longer students, I can tell you what I feel about every one of my students. I love you all, and I know it's not really professional. It's not really dignifying of a president of a school. But again, I really don't care. I actually love you all, and I wish you all the best, and really you have a home. And remember, if you go out there and you see that you still need some education, you still need some help, you have 2 years for free that you can come back and study as much as you want, right? So take advantage of it. Now, hopefully that we have taught you so well that we don't see you before 5-6 years anyway. All right? So you take care, and really from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the best, and you have me as a friend for the rest of your lives. So drop by, say hello. Most like it, I'll be doing chicken sandwiches, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Comer. And now, Mr. Chris Comer, DigiPen COO, will introduce our commencement speaker, Ms. Patty Dobrovolsky.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me up here. Patty Dobrovolsky is a national acclaimed comic performer, high-performance business consultant, 3-time TEDx speaker, and the author of 2 books, 3 Tips to Up Your Creative Genius and Drawing Solutions, How Visual Goal Setting Can Change Your Life. Co-host of Pete and Patty's Powerful Particulars podcast on iTunes, Patty works with teams at all levels to up their creative genius and capture their vision and strategy into huge, beautiful visuals for global clients such as Nike, Starbucks, Microsoft, Zillow, and the Gates Foundation. Known for her high energy, quick wit, and committing to help people and businesses achieve their goals, Patty lives in Denver with her wife Julie and 2 pups. Here to help all of us with our creative genius, please help me welcome Patty Dobrovolsky.
Hello! Oh, I can't believe it. Thank you so much for that introduction. I just want to say that what's not included in that introduction was when I started out in high school, I wanted to be a song girl. You know, a song girl is somebody that has this like really long, poofy hair, and they wear these cute little skirts, and they have white gloves, and then they do something called the nose clap and circles, and they show up at all the games. And I thought this would be my way to fit in, you know, because clearly I didn't. And so I auditioned for it, you know, I rehearsed for it, and I go out there, and everybody's watching, and I do it. And I do it perfectly, but they don't choose me. And I think, oh my God, now what? You know, I thought that was my way in. And so this friend of mine came up to me and said, Patty, you know what? What you should do is become the PEP commissioner. And I'm like, PEP commissioner? What's a PEP commissioner? I mean, really, right? And they said, well, PEP commissioners are on student council, so you get out every Friday, you don't have to go to class. And then on Thursdays, you make posters for all of the school events. And so I spent my high school senior year creating thousands of posters and showing up to get everybody pepped up, just like you. So I stand before you today, a highly paid poster girl and PEP commissioner. And so I'm here as your PEP commissioner, all of you graduates, and you, all of you out there in the audience, you're my PEP squad. Are you ready? When I say 2019, you say yes. Ready? 2019. Yes. 2019. Yes. 2019. Yes. Awesome. All right. Congratulations. Let's give a big shout out to all the friends, family, everybody's that here that supported you and gave you money and food. Let's just give them a round of applause. Thank you. Can you guys believe it? You actually took your obsession and you turned it into a lucrative career. You slayed. I mean, really, what's true, though, is that some of you have no feeling left in your thumbs, no authenticating prints for you. That's going to make it really hard for you to get a global entry card, so you can't go anywhere. But who cares? I mean, you can just lay back in your beanbag chair, put on your VR goggles. There you are, Paris, Italy, bottom of the ocean, top of Everest. Call in Uber Eats. But seriously, like you have really earned this hard-won degree, the DigiPen diploma. I mean, this is your golden ticket, really, to a life where your passion and your creative genius hook up. That is sexy. Now, I know that some of you out there, you graduates, are looking at me like, what'd that lady just say, creative genius? I mean, I'm smart, but creative genius. So let's roll back to the definition of creative genius so we can revamp it. So back in the 40s, I'm talking the 1940s. That's like when your great-great-great-grandmother was alive, right? In the 1940s, when they said creative genius, they were talking about a person like Einstein or Edison or Madame Curie, right? That's the woman that she developed radiation and then died from it. And then in the 1990s, we're still calling people creative genius. You know, we roll back there and there's Steve Jobs, right? Creative genius. But in this day and age, we've redefined creative genius. Creative genius is anyone who has this high security access to the innate capability that we all share, our imagination. Imagination is the language of creative genius, right? All right, so back to you, academic acolytes. Let's paint the picture of your awesomeness, shall we? 2019. Yes. Okay. All right. The truth is that you've been tapping your creative genius since you got here. It's your superpower. It's a direct link between you and your budding brilliance, right? And creative genius has allowed all of you to take your passion and live life from inside of it. And that is so frickin' fun, isn't it? Now you're looking at me like, what? You made that sound so easy. What's she talking about? Like you put your hand in a glove, or I put my foot in a sock, and that's me living life within my passion. But seriously, right? You have done this amazing thing. And just like any kind of awesome game, you entered DigiPen at level 1, didn't you? And then, every project late into the night, you tested and tweaked, you developed, you failed, you fixed, and every challenge, you ramped up your skills. So today, I just want to say I confess that I watched some of your 2018 projects online. So clearly, we start off at a very foundational level here. This is like you build Pac-Man over and over and over again. But fast forward through these multiple levels of intricate design and beautiful sound score, and then here you are, you walk into this room, and you definitely wouldn't you say you have leveled up? 2019. That's right. So welcome to the next level, life after DigiPen. I know now for some of you, you're like, scary, what? And the others of you are like, bring it, right? Am I right? Okay, but it's not like you didn't have life skills before. You seriously did, but now you got this fancy portfolio of projects. Now you've got this technical terminology and acumen. Now I understand you can actually collaborate in teams and act very nicely. Well, most of the time anyway, right? Okay, so let's talk about this next level landscape. Because in this next level, what you've done is you've constructed this virtual and actual life toolkit to use. But what's that landscape look like? So here it is. An innovation ninja, Rita J. King, she's from Science House. This is what she said. She said, soon we'll be leaving behind the technology age and entering into an era called the imagination age. The imagination age, the one thing that carries you through there is creativity, that's one, and active daydreaming. That means that you are going to make so much money. You really are. And the way you're going to do that is by just accessing that creative genius, conjuring up all of this advanced VR, creating these intricate sound scores that people can experience, and also Fortnite sequels. All by daydreaming. And so good on you. Let's do an inner Fortnite dance right now, shall we? All right. Okay, so what skills are going to be required of you in this next level landscape life? Well, like with any good storyline, there's going to be some hills and valleys. But what you want to know is, how do I get to the turn in the plot more quickly? How do I get to the top of the peak without having to hike all those switchbacks? So the character, you, get to live that total work happiness. Meet the phenomenal love of your life, right? And you get to just have money rain down from these poofy white clouds in a bright blue sky and a sunny day. Are we really in Seattle? Might have to rewrite that part. Gray sky. But here's how you get there. Here's how. And this is my creative genius tip for you. Know that anytime any idea or thought catches your attention, your imagination snaps a picture of it. And then you expand that picture with how you feel about it, your emotion. And then your brain jumps in and it starts to create these what-if scenarios. What if I did that? I moved to San Francisco. What if this picture happens? I meet somebody on the light rail. We decide to work from a yurt up in the Methow Valley. Imagination helps you try these things on with those what-if pictures. Meanwhile, your brain takes those pictures, seams them together into stories. And those stories become your life. But here's the tricky part. Every picture in your mind is like a seed. And you plant and water and fertilize that seed by repeated focus and attention. And the more focus and attention you put on that picture, the faster that seed germinates. This can be positive or negative. So you either move forward towards the things you want or backwards towards what you fear. But it all starts in how you view that picture. Am I right? Head nodding is appropriate. All right, so let's run this in a movie score, okay? So in the plot of this movie, Your avatar's name is Max. Max is a young, creative mind seeker, decked out in acronym. Max has this wild, awesome hair. Max dials into a Zoom call for an interview with an amazing startup for a job that's perfect for Max. Now, Max is nervous, but confident. I mean, Max already sent his interactive design resume. And so, Max dials in, and the interview is going amazingly. Unbelievably, you know, Max has the attention of everybody in the room. He's Svengali'd them. And so nobody's IMing or swiping or anything. And suddenly, Belinda from HR asks Max this question that Max didn't expect. So he's like, what? Suddenly, Max's brain is on high alert. It's sifting through these sequence of images, pulling this picture, no, that picture, mixing and matching, trying to come up with an amazing answer. Oh my God, Max's amygdala's gotten involved. Suddenly, it's sending the chemical cortisol into Max's system. Fight or flight, fight or flight. Max's palms are dripping in virtual sweat. Freeze. How do we help Max? What can we do? Think. Oh, I know. We got to come up with a secret code to help Max at this next level interview. All right. Max, calm down. Max, put them on pause. Mute them. Remember that lady at your graduation ceremony a month ago? And she talked about those pictures? Right. I'm supposed to draw a picture so I can keep my brain focused on the future. Right. Okay, all right. I get a pen, piece of paper, and I'm going to draw my future self. Okay. An apartment in Seattle that doesn't cost $5,500 a month. Great. Crazy creative work where I get to use my skills every day. Awesome. Good, cool people who want to hang out with me and make eye contact, but not all the time. Excellent. Max scans over these pictures, and then Max speed daydreams this reality. Max, are you still there? It's Belinda. Max takes them off mute, and the rest flows exactly as Max saw it up here in Max's imagination. And what did Max write at the top of that picture? My big life. And the rest is history. Now, if that can happen for Max, why not you? Fact. When you draw a picture of your future self, you look at it and fill it with feeling. It increases your odds of success by 42%. Even if you can't draw a stick figure, 42%. All right, so let's break it up here at this graduation, shall we? 2019. Underneath the graduate's chair, you'll find a postcard and a pencil, because let's change those odds for you right now. Get your card, find it. Those of you in the audience, you'll have to use your program and a pencil nub you found in the bottom of your purse. Hold up that pencil and that card so I see you got it. Okay, turn it sideways, horizontally, and at the top, write My Big Life, put your name and the date, 1 year from today, April 28th, 2020. Do that now. This is where the Jeopardy song sings, and that guy keeps winning millions of dollars. Okay, now, here's what I want you to do. Imagine it's a year from today, April 28th, 2020, in the best case scenario, the best future you could possibly imagine. And on that card, I want you to write 2 to 3 words that represent your life a year from today without your critic getting involved. So, overblown with joy, madly in love, fantastically successful, doing work that I love. Write that. Whatever is true for you in that future. Whatever it is that you desire, put it on that card. And then, like Max, draw 1 to 2 pictures of it. Even if you can't draw, do that now. She's giving me a look down here. Do it. You can. I know you can. That's right. We're going to give you 1 minute to do this. Well, maybe not a whole minute. Best case scenario. Future you want to live inside. Two to 3 words. No fancy shading allowed. Okay, time's up. Was that a minute? Probably not, but you can finish this later. But here's what I'd say. Need another minute? Raise your hand. A few people need another minute. Hold on. Audience, can you stand it? Talk amongst yourselves. Tell your dreams of the future to the person sitting next to you. You can do it. Okay, graduates, here we go. Now, put that picture somewhere you can see it every day. Dashboard of your car, bathroom mirror, best friend's forehead. And then every time you see that picture, daydream it, fantasize about it, double click on it, some piece of it, and dream it as if it's happening right now. And then get up every day and do one thing to go get that dream. Go out, make that phone call, one phone call to someone in the business you want to be in. Meet that neighbor down the road that's got that awesome connection. And every time you get out of a chair, meaning these chairs today, walk as your future self today. Do this. 2019, you! And every time you come up against some wall in your Dark Souls experience, because you know you will, that's part of this game life that we're in, right? When you come up from that challenge and to that doorway of the challenge, to that archway and that portal, see it as a portal for opportunity. See it as something that's going to help you level up. And then sift through your pictures so you know where you're going. Sift through those pictures so you know where you're going. Open up that life toolkit you built. Flex those DigiPen muscles. Walk through the portal and dominate. 2019. Yeah. 2019. Yeah. 2019. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Patty Dobrovolsky, for sharing your wisdom with us. Dr. Eric Mormon, the Dean of Faculty, will now recognize the faculty.
Graduates, you're here. Yeah. What a fantastic day. Graduation is always a special spot in my heart. Allow me to take a moment to introduce our faculty by departments, and after that, I'll be bold enough to address you for all of the faculty collectively. And one thing just to point out, there's a few faculty tucked around in corners of the room instead of over at the side who are helping in the ceremony, so peek around and look for them too. So faculty, please rise and remain standing as your department is called. The faculty are divided into the departments of animation and production, computer science, digital arts, electrical and computer engineering, fine arts, game, software, design and production, humanities and social sciences, mathematics, music, and physics. Thank you. Now I'm going to ask them to remain standing for a moment because we have something to say to you, and then you may have something to say back. We, the faculty, are grateful and are proud. We are grateful for the opportunity to walk alongside you, encouraging, striving, and yes, demanding. We are proud of your achievements, of your maturation, and your perseverance. And now then, let all of us take a moment to recognize and thank the faculty for their expertise and efforts, which has been dedicated to your success over these last years. Thank you. Thank you. Faculty, you can be seated again. Next, I have the privilege of presenting academic honors. It is my honor today to recognize our graduate students who are graduating with distinction, which requires a GPA of 3.7 or higher. Students, please stand when your name is read, and guests, please hold your applause until all of the names are read. In the Master of Science in Computer Science program, we have Danilo Aimine, Robin Baranda, Moody Gadar, Shivam Kumar, Riley O'Callahan, and AJ Tanwar. In the Master of Fine Arts and Digital Arts program, Hannah Patton. Congratulations. You may be seated. Next, our undergraduate students graduating with distinction with a GPA of 3.5 or higher. Students, again, please stand when your name is read. And I know it's hard, but please hold your applause until all of the names are read. In the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Arts and Animation, Nitsiri Anamwatana, Sakina Minis, Arosha Nidishakorn, Matthew Craig, Jacob Kudahi, John Paragas, Curtis Burton, Elena Franklin, Michael Garner, Thomas Parrish, Brooke Robertson, Dustin Williams, Tristan Began, Joshua Jacoby, Carly Olson, Ethan Tall, Caleb Klumparens, Lauren Turnbow, Neha Chintala, Evan Collier, Connor Deacon, Brandon Hayes, Yu Chen Huang, Tony Kim, Aaron Kitchen, Timothy Coe, Miles Marchant, Jake Mathern, Alexei Perfilev, Daniel Powell, Juan Ramos, Alexander Sinoha, Mark Smith, Wesley Whittakind, and Julian Sullivan. Congratulations. Students, you may now be seated. Next, we will be presenting the program valedictorians. The following students, respectively, have the highest GPA in their graduating class for their degree program. Those who chose to participate in this ceremony are recognized here today. Valedictorians, please come up to the stage when your name is called. For the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Arts and Animation, Nitsiri Anamwatana. For the Bachelor of Arts in Game Design, Jacob Kudahi. For the Bachelor of Arts in Music and Sound Design, Elena Franklin. For the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Computer Engineering, Lauren Turnbow. For the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Julian Sullivan. For the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Game Design, Ethan Tall. For the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Digital Audio, Caleb Klumperens. For the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science in Real-Time Interactive Simulation, Yu Chen Huang. Please join me one more time in congratulating our 2019 valedictorians. Thank you.
Congratulations, students, and thank you, Dr. Mormon. It is time now for the nominated student speakers, who will be introduced by Ellen Beeman, Senior Lecturer in the Department of Game Software Design and Production. The student speakers were nominated by faculty and staff to speak to their graduating class.
So Christopher Onorati was my student and lead TA for me for 2 years. He didn't just help only the students in my classes, but all DigiPen students. Our students have a saying, no one gets through DigiPen alone. And they haven't had to, in part because of people like Chris. In the words of the character Dipper Pines from the animated show Gravity Falls, that's the baseball cap he wears all the time. The best you can do is strive to be someone who is worthy of love. Chris, you've done so much for so many people. I can't count the number of students you've helped. You've proven yourself worthy over and over again, and we love you for it. I'm not going to cry. All right, please welcome our first student speaker, Christopher Onorati.
Hello, everyone. Wow, let me tell you, that took me forever to think of saying. Longer than I really care to admit. Hello, everyone. It's kind of funny that finding my voice for those 2 words was so difficult, isn't it? 2 simple words were probably the hardest thing for me to think of saying to all of you, yet I've said them both today, probably at least a dozen times, maybe not together, but a dozen times today. But it's not really the words I found difficult saying or writing down, I suppose. It's the concept of the words that I found challenging. The concept of having to start something that felt so huge and so overbearing, yet I knew I was fully capable of doing. A sentiment, I am sure, applies to a lot of us when beginning our time here at DigiPen together. A sentiment I am sure applies to a lot of those who came to support us today when singing us off so many years ago as we started to learn and grow together over the years we've spent here. The only thing I could think of when starting the speech that would be harder than the beginning is the end. And before I go on about that, let me spoil something for you right now. This speech is going to end in about 6 or 7 minutes, I promise. It's nice to be able to know that there's a finish line. And with that said, I think the scariest thing for most of us is that there are no finish lines anymore. Just one overbearing question that applies to all of us from this point on. What's next? You've graduated from DigiPenn with a degree under your belt. What's next? Your son, daughter, cousin, grandchild, friend, they've graduated and are on a new journey. What's next? The students you've taught and mentored are leaving to go on to a new adventure in their life. What's next? It's a unifying question, really. And the great thing about DigiPenn, a secret thing it taught us, is that it's okay to not know the answer to that question. In many ways, it's probably better to not know the answer to that question. And to make that point, I'm going to use a pretty apt metaphor. Life is like making a game, ironically enough. I probably got some eye rolls, I know, get them out, but let me share with you why I said that. First, when making a game, you come up with all these amazing initial ideas, plans, wishful thinking. Honestly, it's the best idea of what's going to happen, but most likely won't. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a train conductor. That happened. We can all see it. But then, no, I thought, how silly of me. No, I'm going to be a chef. Yeah, that happened as well, if you count microwaving dinners. I haven't cooked in years. The list goes on and on for me, and I can make a fairly confident guess it goes on and on for most of you. Who thought when they were in first grade that they would be an artist, a programmer, a game designer, animator, a rigger? Probably not even half of us, if even a fourth. If only speaking for myself, I imagine there are many parents and guardians here today who were scratching their heads in confusion as we proposed the 15th or 16th thing we were going to be when we grew up. To those who went through that head scratching, thank you for your support. So anyways, when you start making a game, you keep having these amazing ideas. You keep coming up with these crazy ideas, and they keep going opposite directions. But then you do find it, the crazy. That crazy thing that just puts a smile on your face and others when just even thinking about it. And find it we did. The reel that we saw, it was a testament to student accomplishments here today. How many things in there made you say, whoa? How many things in there brought a smile to your face? The ability to do that, the ability to bring that level of happiness to family, to strangers, to yourself, while doing so, I'd say that's pretty crazy. So cool, you have the plan, it has the crazy. What's next? You begin prototyping, making that rough draft. You try things out, throw them at the wall, you see what sticks. No matter how skilled any of us are today, and I mean all of us, not just the people who are graduating, you started out somewhere. Somewhere probably kind of rough, kind of scrappy, and probably embarrassing if you were so anyone compared to where you are today. In life, that's the first 18 years. Shadow boxes, posters, science fair projects, presentations, all of those little stepping stones that probably didn't seem like they were going anywhere, those were our first rough drafts. And maybe some of them didn't really have any big application in where we got in the long run. That's fine. Most prototypes don't make it that big, then they don't even see the light of day, but they do guide us. All right, so what have we got so far in my metaphor? An idea, it has the crazy, some rough drafts and prototypes, we maybe threw some of them out. What's next? We can still answer that question. It's production. Making a solid base to build and keep building. Maybe some small projects or sketchbooks. It's all the crazy that we wanted to do and put them together in one solid place, a song that we could find the time to write. What DigiPenn gave us is the tools, the mentors, and the peers that could help encourage us, to mold us and to strengthen that base time and time again, until we had masterpieces ready to bloom on our hands. And I don't mean the projects, although sure they are masterpieces, I mean the students. So now we have our nice solid base that has years of work hidden behind it. What's next? Well, in games, it's polish. To be clear, that means adding little details, the fine touches, those little subtle moments that really bring the whole experience together. For many people, that polish stage can be compared to the last years in school. Getting the final bits of knowledge, completing the master's or thesis or research project. Again, just think of that reel. That's the polish. So, your game is done. It's ready to be released to the world. What's next? It's really impossible to know. It's okay. You know how we came up with our crazy idea? It was from not knowing. There's one thing, though, that I've heard one of my favorite people and mentors say. Be excellent every day. You'll be fine. Before I head off the stage, as that promised 6 or 7 minutes comes to an end, there's one last thing I would like to say. Go Dragons. Thank you.
Hello again. So our second speaker is Ben Albertson-Gass. Ben is someone I believe, like many of our students, has the ability to change the world. As this year's Student Senate president, he spearheaded some incredibly important changes at our college, changes that will have a major positive impact for many years to come. And this is for students and for faculty. We all owe him for this. I've always believed that one person really can make a difference. And if I ever stop believing that, I have Ben here as proof that it's true. Please welcome Benjamin Albertson-Gass.
Just for the record, for my parents, I did not ask her to say any of that. I believe that was genuine. Good afternoon, and welcome to all of our friends and family to the 2019 commencement ceremony for the DigiPen Institute of Technology. I've been honored to be selected to address such a wonderful audience, an audience that has cheered on, supported, and inspired many of my peers up here today. There's a lot of events that happen at DigiPen that many of you don't get to witness firsthand. So I'm going to try and sum up as many of our common experiences as I can in roughly 10 minutes. I understand it's a very short amount of time to say much of anything, but our professors have assigned us more ridiculous tasks in less time, so I think it's to say that DigiPen has prepared me adequately. When I wrote this speech, it was 12:30 in the morning before the speech was due for approval. Concurrently, I was staring down approximately 8 assignments in about 5 days. To all those professors whose assignments you were waiting on, it's not that I was slacking off, it's that I was saving the best for last and all of you tied. I've gained more weight in April than I have in the last 3 years, and I don't know what going to bed before 2 a.m. feels like anymore. So if you allow me, I'm going to skip hypothetical questions such as, was it worth it, and would I do it again? Instead, I'm going to take some time to talk about who is sitting in front of me, what DigiPen prepared us for, and some lessons that all of us can take away from these absurd plus or minus 4 years on this campus. DigiPen is certainly a culture shock, regardless of your previous background. Many of my peers came to this institution wide-eyed and bushy-tailed straight out of high school, looking to leave their mark on the industry that many of them have been participants in since they were born. I remember many of these students sporting their gaming-related shirts and backpacks, asking me politely or not so politely if I've ever played this game or that game. They now had a captive audience who shared their passions and their interests, and that's genuinely a hard thing to come by. DigiPen is already looking like a great institution, and we've barely set foot in the front door. For some of us, though, we didn't come to DigiPen straight out of high school, and this is where this gets tricky. Everyone has a story to tell, and for once, I don't get the pleasure of speaking on behalf of 1,200 students. I can only tell you my story. Before DigiPen, I went to a 4-year state college, one of the top colleges for computer science in the United States. And I managed to fail out on the semester I was intended to graduate. Not all was wasted, though. I met my partner, who's now my wife, at that university. We moved in together at my parents' place, but it counts. We traveled westward looking for work and education. And to make a very long story short, I was a retail manager for about 4 years, and there's only so many times you can hear, oh, there's no price on it, must be free, before you start losing your mind. So I applied to DigiPen. 6 months later, I was now living 6 states away from my partner while attending a notoriously difficult institution. I didn't share the optimism that my peers did. Very candidly, one of my most vivid memories is the orientation speech given by our founder, without any sarcasm at all. He simply said, look to your left and look to your right. One of those people won't be here when you graduate. For some, that's true. For me, both of them are in this crowd. Well done. He also said that you won't have time for your friends, your girlfriends, spouses, partners, what have you. And this is the only time where I'm going to brag in this speech. After my freshman year, I got married, and on Tuesday, it will be my 3rd-year anniversary. I don't know if my partner realized that she would also be surviving DigiPen, but she did it. So being at this podium is a win for all of us. But again, this speech isn't about me. I could go on for hours. It's about all of us walking across this stage today, and I genuinely wish I had more than 10 minutes to address each student's success individually. One of the perks of a small institution is that everyone interacts with everyone, and I'm genuinely afraid that your child, your grandchild, your niece, your nephew, your cousin, family friend, whoever, will downplay their accomplishments. Do not let them do that. I can tell you firsthand that my peers are some of the most absurdly dedicated and hardworking people I've ever had the privilege of knowing. And many of the projects they produced and developed is beyond any expectations you have of them. It's honestly difficult for many of us to step back for just a moment and admire what we've accomplished. Help them do that today. When you all go out to dinner later tonight, brag about them to the wait staff. When you're in public, embarrass them by shouting about how your child is a graduate of DigiPen and you're damn proud of them. For a group of mostly introverts, that's going to be tough for them to deal with. They will learn. DigiPen prides itself on being a simulation of the industries that we are choosing to go into. We know what a product cycle is, starting from the way too ambitious visions we carry in our heads, all the way through the end product that we share with the world. We know about the passion that goes into each brushstroke, each line of code that never works, each note the musicians play. I'm a programmer. We know that feeling of relief that goes into the final submission of each project, and we intimately know every single one of our moments of distress, victory, panic, and success. We know what it's like to work upwards of 60 hours a week. Of course, just as DigiPen is continuing to grow and change and adapt its vision of success after 30 years of education of students, the industries we are choosing to go into are also changing before our eyes. The employees of our industries are speaking up about poor pay, unreasonable deadlines, subpar working conditions, and the threat of losing a job should they talk on the record about any of these things. I may have just been blacklisted. That wasn't even the applause line. The winds of unionizing an industry that needed it 10 or 20 years ago are finally starting to blow. Now, by no means am I using my platform to make such controversial stances, such as employees should be paid for their talent, and anyone who says crunch is necessary is a liar. I would never abuse this. I would never abuse this podium to do so. You can find me in reception, or you can find me at the Black Raven in Redmond, where I'll talk to you about this at length. I am suggesting, though, that these industries are volatile, and I firmly believe that we are on the precipice of something greater. The industry needs vocal, passionate leaders, and convening, I'm walking across this stage with many of them today. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that my peers will be some of the faces you see when we talk about games, or film, or music, or engineering. DigiPen leads by example, and DigiPen has provided the framework to truly change what the career path looks like for everyone involved. It's amazing to see who I am now compared to who I was 4 years ago. Sure, we're better programmers and designers and artists and composers and engineers, but I've argued we've become radically different people with different philosophies throughout this course. I attribute a lot of this to the not-so-obvious lessons that our instructors have taught us. I've been told too many times that there's no such thing as a free lunch. As there's no one best algorithm for every problem, we need to stay flexible and adaptable and hungry. I'm starving, I haven't had lunch yet. My networking class taught me that there's no such thing as an objective truth. Truth, in a sense, is a collective understanding and agreement of our world. I personally believe in the truth that our industry can be a place of nurture and growth. And I believe in the truth that this industry belongs to everyone, both people who look and sound like me and people who currently aren't afforded the same opportunity. Thank you. My epic literature class taught me that most heroes aren't necessarily intelligent or strong. Most of them, at least in Western cultures, are bumbling idiots who happen to be charismatic. This is good news for me, other than, oh, I'm not up here for my GPA. Heroes are advocates from whom they love, whether that's a partner, their friends, their community, or merely themselves. If absolutely nothing else, Digipen has taught me advocacy for my peers and self-advocacy for myself. I've also learned in my statistics course by the time I can quit working and spend more time with my kids and grandkids, Hawaii will be underwater. Do not purchase retirement property in Hawaii. I realize I only have a few minutes left to speak to all of you, and I thank you for letting me do that. So if I may, I'm going to spoil the end game real quick for my peers. Everyone panics. It's great. The graduates in front of me aren't future leaders. They've been leaders for the last 4 years. They're leaders right now. Be proud as hell for them, as I'm confident they weren't aware of just how brutal this school truly was when we stepped our first steps onto the campus. I had no idea. And because I love giving unwanted advice, I'm going to go ahead and share one piece with my peers. Look up, move forward. Some of you guys walking on the sidewalk on Willows look ridiculous looking down. Look up. You may not always feel that you always have your feet underneath you. I understand that. I've been off balance for the last 4 years. I wear flip-flops. However, we're all still standing today. Take a moment to look back and really absorb how far you've come. Realize that road, through all the tripping and stumbling and standing back up and dusting off the shoulders, got you here today. All of you, myself included, have 36 feet left to go, which is the length of the stage for anyone who's counting. Of course, you lose your place at the end. To our professors, sincerely, thank you for giving us a hand back up when we fell, or for some of you shoving us down and then offering a hand back up. Both are applicable. To all the parents and friends in the audience, thank you for your support for the last 4 years. Many of us couldn't have made it without you, and I mean that. To my peers, thank you for your patience and hard work and sacrifice and putting up with my nonsense. Our new first steps in our careers start as we walk out these lobby doors, diploma in hand, belt on your shoulder, paving the road for those who come after us. Cheers.
Thank you, Chris and Ben, for those great words to your class. Next, we are ready for the presentation of candidates for degrees. As a reminder, we ask that guests stay in their seats during the ceremony and not approach the stage, as we have professional photographers who will be sharing links to photos of all graduates within the next few days. We are ready to confer degrees to our graduates. Conferring degrees for the MFA program is Mark Henn, Director of the Masters in Fine Arts program. The Master of Fine Arts in Digital Arts combines foundational coursework in the fine arts with extensive digital production experience to help students develop both their personal skill and artistic voice.
Hannah Patton.
Congratulations, Hannah. That actually concludes the MFA program. Conferring degrees for the MSCS program is Dimitri Volper, Director of the Masters of Science in Computer Science program. The Master of Science in Computer Science allows students to further their understanding of computer science while specializing in an advanced subdiscipline of simulation software and video game development.
Zoeb Highness. Danilo Imini. Waitron Sun. Andrew Riley O'Callahan. Moody Gadar. Shivam Kumar. Bai Liang Gong. Chen Liu. Yen Liang Lin. Varun Primchandran. Rohit Toleti. Sujay Shaha. Ajay Tanwer. Esteban Enrique Maldonado Caban. Jubal Norman. Robin Baranda.
Next, we have the BFA program. Conferring degrees for the BFA in Digital Art and Animation is Jasno Francoeur, Director of the Bachelor of Fine Arts program. The Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Art and Animation teaches students the techniques, processes, and tools that professional artists use to create powerful, affecting imagery for games, animated films, and other digital media.
Allison Mueller. Piria Gutidej Kamjan. Arosha Nitishakorn. Pakaman Kanchanawenik. Emma Green. Jacob Brockway. Angela Melito. Ryan Owens. Claire Finelli. Casey Weitzel. Karen Phillips. Lauren Brown. Gil Vermillion. Ashley Kim. Vietney Tran. Grant Leader. Sakina Minis. Tammy Tritz. Emily Scott. Carolyn Zonketta. Taylor Cater. Christopher William Fairfax. Eve Searle. Jonathan Forey. Christopher Spindle. Amber Kalina. Kinsey Spoody. Shakara Honda. Eduardo Pacheco Morales. Todd Alberta. Sophia Abuzaid. Yara Maria Abusamra. Nitsiri Anamwat. Nathan Nasana. Amanda Rochelle Crum. Nico Rodriguez. Natisha Mercedes Reed. Daniel Syed Ibrahim. Rose Carlson. Will Podpashong. Vincent Moore. Daniel Felipe Fernandez Garcia. Mark Henry. Nathaniel Hinton. Adam Guerrero. Zephyrin Varner. Jessica Gallagher. Olivia Walden. Shannon Pareo. Taylor Shook. Lex Hobson. Marko Pavicevic. Connor Duggan. Chowdhury. Paishaman Pisutamanko. Dom Jewu Ko. Sparrow Buer.
Conferring degrees for the BAGD program is Jeremy Holcomb, the director of the game design programs. The Bachelor of Art in Game Design combines game design theory and practice with coursework in the humanities, social science, art, and the fundamentals of mathematics and computer science to produce graduates with a deep knowledge of how to craft compelling game experiences.
Maria Borg. Joshua Hammond. Tony Benson. Gregory Morton. Christopher Scott Honorati. Nick Johnston. Casey Dengler. Jacob Cudahy. Grant Joyner. Amber Stevens. Matthew Craig. Emilio Jose Pujadas. Calvin Hughes. Kat Misinski. Gregor Smith. Kristen Shearer. Jade Heimer. John Paragas. Ray Constantine Nocturne. Jonathan Williams.
Next, we have the Bachelor of Art in Music and Sound Design program. Conferring degrees for the BA MSD program is Lauren Schwedler, Director of the Music and Sound Design programs. The Bachelor of Arts in Music and Sound Design focuses on the creative principles of interactive sound design. This program combines foundational coursework in music, including music history, composition, theory, and performance, with practical training in studio recording techniques and sound design principles. Students who successfully complete the BA in Music and Sound Design program will be able to create engaging game and film soundtracks by applying music concepts in a real-world studio setting, not just as a sound designer, but as an effective team member with a broad understanding of the game development process.
Dustin Williams. Brooke Robertson. Kathy Strable. Sergeant Michael Wayne Garner. Drake Parker. Thomas Parrish. Joshua Aaron Stoll. Elena Franklin. Curtis Burton. Martin Penberthy. Eric Clausen.
Also conferring degrees for the BS/CS/DA program is Lauren Schwedler, the Director of the Music and Sound Design programs. The Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Digital Audio combines the disciplines of computer science, audio engineering, and music. This degree program focuses on audio programming and digital signal processing, along with audio production and implementation to train the next generation of game audio programmers in the development of adaptive soundscapes and the tools needed to build them.
Caleb Klumperens. Ian Cole. Maxwell Hayes.
Next is the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Game Design. Conferring degrees for the BS/CS/GD program is Ben Ellinger, Director of the Game Design programs. The Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Game Design combines game design theory and practice with coursework in computer science, mathematics, the humanities, social sciences, and arts to produce graduates who are proficient computer scientists and designers.
Gabriel Miller. Michael Ross. Gwendolyn Sayer Thompson. John Gunnar Headley. Elspeth Larkin. Emmeline Estrom. Ethan Tall. David Robert Brown. Mark Wofford. Moore Haba. Julian Hyatt. Jeremy Michael McCarty. Sean Masters. Brock Lyons. Connor Tilley. Tristan Began. Carly Ann Olson. Ben DeVries. Josh Jacoby.
Conferring degrees for the Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering program is Charles Duba, the Vice President of Institutional Advancement and Strategic Initiatives. The Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering program educates engineers to understand both sides of the hardware-software interface, from designing circuits to creating operating systems. Multidisciplinary in scope, the CE curriculum integrates the fields of electrical engineering and computer science.
Cody Anderson. Lauren Turnbow. Justin Romero. Joshua Yan.
Next, we have the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science program. Conferring degrees for the BS-CS program is Samir Abu Samra, Chief Technology Officer and Director of the CS program. The Bachelor of Science in Computer Science prepares students to develop software through a combination of computer science theory and continuous practical application in team-based projects. Students learn to gather, store, and analyze real-world data, to connect and harness the power of distributed computing devices, and to create digital interfaces that are natural and intuitive. This background prepares students to not only understand the technologies of today, but to find solutions to problems that seem unsolvable and collaboratively build the technologies of tomorrow.
Trevor Anderson. Jacob McClellan. Benjamin Albertson Goss. Julian Sullivan. Nathaniel Gabar. Alan Sang. Jack Isle.
Next, we have the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science in Real-Time Interactive Simulation. Also conferring degrees for this program is Samir Abu Samra, our Chief Technology Officer and Director of the CS RTIS program. The Bachelor of Science in Computer Science in Real-Time Interactive Simulation focuses on developing, implementing, and programming complex interactive simulations and computer graphics in real time, giving the students the knowledge and skills to produce highly complex software systems at a professional level.
Ethan Morey. Brandon Hayes. Alexei Perfilev. Matthew Gilbert. Chris Deschaux. Aaron Domning. Jason Murray. Max Whitehead. Pamela Wolf. Mark Smith. Gabrielle Annalise Chamberlain. Nicholas Amon. Wesley Whittekind. Andrew Griffin. Ron Fiddleman. Jacob McPeak. Evan Collier. Stephen Landy. Christopher Eicher. Miles Marchand. Maxwell Orth. Yu Chen Huang. Dylan Martino. Timothy Coe. Daniel Powell. Brett Cunningham. Joshua Parker. Neha Chintala. Raymond E. Moorhead. Kirby Duncan. Alexander Candelaft. Philip Nygaard. Dylan Weber. Alex Desjardins. Mark Rowland. Matthew Oakes. Noah T. Curtis. Aaron Kitchen. Jake Mathern. Juan Ramos. Alexander Sonoha.
We did it!
Please join me in giving a round of applause for all of our graduates. As new cohorts join DigiPen, our president, Mr. Comer, greets them during new student orientation and asks that they leave their voices at the door and trusts us to teach them what we know. Then each year at graduation, once students have made it through the proverbial or not so proverbial gauntlet, he returns their voices to them. So with that, please welcome Mr. Claude Comer back to the stage for the return of student voices.
Thank you. Well, a few years ago when you just joined, I made this famous speech where I said, look to your left, look to your right, you know, and probably you won't see these people anymore. But obviously, I was proven wrong because our friend here, he has two buddies on both sides that are still here. Well, this makes me happy, actually, because I don't like to lose students. But the fact is that DigiPen presents a gauntlet, and everything that is worth it is difficult, you know, in this world. You know, something that is easy to obtain will not last a long time, and it's probably useless to you in the long run. But something that you have to really fight and struggle, and only very few can actually receive the final reward, that is something that you will cherish and keep for forever. Before I actually do the official release of your voices, I will explain to you how it happened. There was a student that actually graduated, ended up working at Nintendo Software Technology. I'm not sure if you are aware of it, but I'm one of the co-founders of this organization. And upon my retirement, every one of these employees wrote something in a book and actually made a video. And this gentleman, which I don't want to name, he said to me on the video that when he entered as a student, I told him that he couldn't speak anymore, he had to listen. Which I do, actually. If you remember my first speech, I tell you from now on you listen to us and you speak little. And we really don't care about your opinion. We actually are the experts, and if you are an expert of some kind, either join us or go somewhere else. I did say that. So I say it less and less these days because, you know, it seems that this is offensive. And people are fragile, and they can't handle it. But this gentleman, he said to me, well, you know, I lost my voice at DigiPen, and I thought I was going to get it back. I entered that NST, and here I find you again, and I lose it again. So now that you are retiring, Mr. Comer, could you be kind to return my voice to me? So I realized that what I was doing, I was actually taking your voices, and it was imperative to give it back to you. So we started a tradition at the graduation several years ago, is where I will actually give you back your voice, and you actually use it at its maximum volume to make sure that it is with you now. So basically, I will count to 3, and you will scream to bring down the building. Not like when Patty said, you know, 2019, and you said, yeah, that will not work with me. Now, with a voice, you also receive the force. So you can think of me as Yoda or something like that. I'm giving you back the voice with the force. So use it wisely, right? So I'm going to count to 3, you know, and at the count of 3, you would scream. And I don't like to tell you, okay, that wasn't good enough, we're going to repeat. All right? Okay. But first, I need my chair. Because somebody forgot the chair. You can hear me? Yes. Good. I'm going to sit down because you all deserve my respect, and you deserve that I give you a standing ovation. It is true. Now we are colleagues. But I cannot give you a standing ovation if I'm already standing. So I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to stand up. There you go. And now I offer you all my respect and admiration. You made it. So now the count to 3. Okay, again, I remind you. I don't want like, and then I'll say, okay, let's do it again. It's not good, right? It's one time, we destroy the building, they call us terrorists, whatever you want, but we need that voice to be heard. All right? Promise? Okay. That was not so good, huh? 1, 2, 2.5, 3. Yes, yes. Come on, enjoy it, enjoy it. You're not screaming. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's with you now, right? You're sure of it? Okay. So now, still speak little, listen a lot. Huh? Okay. I love you all. And with this, I say goodbye, and hopefully I will see you often at DigiPen. And if you need us, you need help, we are still for you, and we are still with you. You guys take care. I enjoyed this presentation. I really don't know what comes next. I will follow. And I will take back my chair.
Before we conclude today's ceremony, I'd like to take a moment to thank the following people. Those on stage, Claude Comer, Eric Moorman, and Chris Comer, for their roles in overseeing our education and honoring our graduates today. Patty Dobrovolsky for the inspirational speech. Benjamin Albertson Gass and Christopher Onorati for their motivational addresses to the student body. Mojan Ahmadi and the Commencement Committee for planning the ceremony, and the Office of Student Affairs for their continuous support. The Marketing and Communications Department for their audio-visual support and publications for the ceremony, our faculty and staff for their hard work and commitment to our students' education, the DigiPen Jazz Ensemble and Vocal Ensemble for today's music, Linwood Convention Center for providing the refreshments in the beautiful space, and finally, thank you to all of you, family and friends, for your support in helping our students reach this point. Please remain seated until the head party and the students have left the hall. Following the recessional, please join us for a reception on the first floor where light refreshments will be served. At this time, graduates, please stand and turn your tassels and prepare to throw your caps in the air. Okay, everyone, please join me and give a huge round of applause to our 2019 graduates. Congratulations.